What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the SashaT podcast, a Whatnot original. I was thinking, who should we bring on for our next guest? Who should we bring on for the next guest? And during this whole time, me and you were both on vacation. I was like, man, it's crazy what's going on in the market.
It is crazy what's going on.
And I was like, all right, like maybe instead of like bringing on a guest and kind of doing that more interview style, I bring somebody on that, I admire a lot. I know has a lot of experience in the industry, and kind of just have an open forum Q&A style podcast about, what's going on in the market, what you're seeing, and just a free flowing kind of podcast.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. Let me start out by saying thanks for having me back on, man. It's an honor to be here again, and I appreciate all that you've done and continue to do for the hobby. So it's awesome to be here. Thanks again.
Yeah, and it's funny that we both went on vacation. One of the probably worst times to go on vacation.
It was crazy.
Right?
I mean, I was in Puerto Vallarta, and I'm trying to keep track of trying to follow things that's going on, and it was just. I mean, at one point I didn't even want to look at it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, before I was leaving, I was trying to grind stuff out so much. Like Franklin knows, like we were just like we were doing long days of just like I need to make sure I get this done and this done, this time before I leave, because A, I don't want to worry about it, and B, the market's just so volatile right now. You want to make sure you get your stuff executed.
It's so volatile right now. It's crazy, and that's why we talk about it, shows and everything like that. And last week, I wasn't posting like content from shows or anything like that because I was out of town, but I was posting things trying to give advice. And people were asking like, what can I do differently at shows when I'm there? And the main thing I talked about was like to really like diversify yourself, be different.
Yeah.
You walk into these shows and you see the same stuff over and over.
You do. That's what happened yesterday, bro. That's what happened yesterday.
I was at 3 locations yesterday and it was kind of the same thing. So
be
different.
We have a good amount of questions coming in right now, so I say we just get into it, from the jump. I like this first question. Shout out to D. Will Cards, local guy, Southern California guy, quality dealer. He asked, do you think that Fanatics will make a play for Panini?
I don't know if they'll make a play for Panini right off the bat, but I definitely think if they don't make a play for them, they're definitely going to work with them. I think.
Yeah.
And be able to accommodate a lot of the collectors. I like what Fanatics is doing. As much as people think it's going to be a monopoly, I think it is going to be good for the hobby in the long run. And people don't like change. So I think what they're trying to do, people aren't used to. But I think once they get the ball rolling, I really think it's going to be good for the industry.
Well, Panini brings up like a whole sector of this market, right? People loved them and still love them, but loved them when, you can go to the shelves of Target and Walmart and scoop stuff up and sell it for 2x or 3x of what it's worth. But now you go to your shelves of Target and Walmart and you're just seeing wax on wax on wax on wax. And it's just sitting there.
It's sitting there. I just saw somebody post earlier today that I guess Prism hanger packs have been on Target.com or Walmart.com for over 2 days and they're not sold out yet. Like for football, and that tells you something.
Yeah. And do you think that's them saying, hey, look, we don't have this license for that much longer. Let's dish out as much
and just make as much as we can.
Do you think that's what's going
on? I don't
on?
think it's like a cash grab, anything like that. I think that when the stuff went into production, the market was so strong, and it's just changed a little bit now.
Yeah.
And back in the day, when you would buy a retail product, it would be totally different than the hobby product. So you would know it's retail versus hobby. Now it's kind of the same thing. Like the base cards are identical.
Yeah.
And I think that has something to do with it.
Is there any, or if any, numbered stuff in retail right now for like Prism basketball?
I think there is, but I think
it's very
like
harder minimal, to get, right?
Yeah, it's harder to get.
Select football or stuff like that.
Select football, there's numbered?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because that's also where the value is too. When where we're at right now, base isn't doing that well compared to what it was doing a year or 2 years ago. So people are chasing that number stuff, and if they know retail has mostly base, then what happens?
It's going to sit. It's harder to get.
Yeah.
So the odds of getting it out of retail is a lot harder. But a hobby box, when a hobby box comes out and it's like $1,200. That's crazy. Like that hobby box isn't meant to be $1,200. It should be like a $250 box. And these companies are putting in $250 worth of product. Like they're not gauging on the secondary market.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is interesting. That's one of the effects of the market today, right? It's just like retail sitting. Let's go up to the next question. I believe that's hot slabs, right? Right, Flankton? They said, with World Cup coming, what is the product to collect for soccer cards? And then I think he has another question. NBA and NFL has Prism. What is the best product to start collecting for resale value? Well, I mean, World Cup, you have Prism World Cup, which will come out, which is going to be a huge product. And what has been a huge product over the last couple of years has been 2018 Prism, which has been Mbappe's rookie.
Always. I know the Topps Champions 18 was,
and Champions League,
yeah, that stuff was
which
good.
I think some of Mbappe's cards from Champions League actually goes for more than Prism World
Yeah.
Cup, which
That
used to
stuff
be
was
flipped.
sitting for like $45 a box
Yeah,
for a long time
yeah,
before the pandemic, you know.
yeah. And you have 2014 World Cup, and you have Mega Cracks and all that sort of stuff. But I would say that I think I did expect soccer to kind of have a little bit more of an upswing around this time and later. Maybe it's just happening a little later for where the market is at. Maybe because where the market is at, it maybe won't see that jump. But I have a feeling it will, because I actually bought a 2018 Prism box or hobby box just like last week from Burbank Cards, and that's already out the door. So I mean, the demand seems like it is there for it. I think a hobby box of 2018 Prism World Cup goes for around 3,000. I feel like that's like a better product to put your money into than a lot of other things.
Yeah, I mean, and it's all timing too. So as
Yeah.
anything happens, so World Cup's coming, people are going to be looking for that stuff, and a lot of the Mbappe's and the guys like that may not produce in the World Cup, and it might be that guy who
The
his
random
card wasn't
guy.
worth anything
Yep.
that might score, have a hat trick or something like that,
Yeah.
and their stuff goes nuts. So I mean, when you have a box or a case of something, you're not just investing in one particular guy, you've got the entire class.
And that's something
Bank
I
on it.
wish I learned like when I first started.
hmm
Because I think if you really dig down deep in it, like wax was probably has been the safer play, but also great ROI.
Yeah, up until WWE Prism.
Up until WWE Prism. I got crushed on WWE Prism.
Up until, I mean, that stuff went crazy.
Yeah.
It really did. And I think it's things like that that are leaving such a bad taste in people's mouths. And it's sad to see, but it's
Yeah,
crazy.
because if that's your first buy ever,
dude,
I
every
mean,
show,
I
yeah,
can absorb that L because I'm like, I know like that's just not.
you've made it up on other things.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
some people who just went in,
But I mean, it still hurts. Like,
and
I don't like it.
somebody who just went in and invested in a case of Prism
Yeah.
WWE at 1,100 or 1,200 a box, like that's hard times.
It's tough.
And it's I hate seeing it, but every show you go to now, there's going to be somebody that you see there for the last time, and I've seen it.
That's what you were
And
talking
it's
about
like,
yesterday. actually.
man, it's awful. I hate seeing it because I want everybody to have fun, and I just feel like so many people like overextending themselves
Yeah.
over the last 2 years that I don't like seeing it, man. It doesn't make collecting fun. It's more. It's not just a hobby for a lot of people anymore. Everybody is in it to flip and make money, and that's good too. But when it's not fun anymore, then it's not a
hobby.
It's not a hobby. And back in the day, in the 50s, 60s, 70s, they were called trading cards. They were made to trade. You buy them and you trade them with your friends. Now they're called collector cards. Well, just like anything else, a lot of things that are made to collect sometimes aren't really collectible because they make enough of it to accommodate all the collectors.
Yeah, and I think that that goes into, we have a huge Instagram community for cards and very passionate people, I would say, right? And you have very passionate collectors and very, there's names for it. People say I'm a collector. People say I'm an investor. People say I'm a flipper.
Mm-hmm.
But when you really look at it from the grand scheme of things, a collector is all those things. I mean, there's very few people, I feel like, that collect things just to collect them nowadays. You know what I mean?
I mean, a lot of people are doing it for alternative reasons. I mean, everybody wants to have something maybe to pass on to their kids.
Yeah.
Like when they pass it on to their kids, they don't want it to be worth zero. Like
No.
they want to have something to leave for their
Yeah.
kids. So they're collecting it because they enjoy it or they like it. You know what I always say, buy what you like, but they're collecting it because they enjoy it. And then when they pass it on to their kids, 9 out of 10 kids in this next generation is probably not going to be into collectibles, unfortunately. And I hate that. But the manufacturers have taken a lot of the kids out of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid, we'd go do some chores or, help neighbors to get a couple bucks to go be able to go to like the card shop or Thrifties and the ice cream man and buy baseball cards. Like kids can't do that anymore.
I mean, with how retail's going though, they might be able to do it soon.
They may be able to do it, but packs are still expensive. So like
Yeah.
a retail box at Target is what, $30 now.
Yeah.
You get what, 6 packs, so it's still
Yeah.
$5 a pack. Like, hey, I don't want to be that guy. Well, when I was a kid, it was 25, 35 cents a pack. Like it was affordable.
I see what you're saying.
So,
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because your logo and your slogan is always buy what you like. It's just when you go to these shows and you see somebody that says, "Hey, I'm a collector," but I'm like, if I say I'm a collector, right? Am I supposed to be like, let's define collecting. Am I supposed to be not trading my cards that I say like I'm the collector of? Like that's what I don't understand.
no,
You know what I
because
mean?
you can switch up your collection anytime.
So okay, perfect. So you're saying I'm a collector, but I can trade, right? And I can go to a show and I can trade.
That's what it's about.
Doesn't that make you a dealer?
No, this whole thing is about trading with your friends, trading with people to build your collection to where you want it to ultimately be.
I just think
right?
I just think it's interesting because people say I'm a collector, but I'm like you're dealing, you're trading, like so.
And at some point, a collector might be into like I know collectors who collected basketball cards and they had Kobe Topps PSA 10s. They're collectors. Okay, they bought them for $80 or $100. They got up to $10,000.
Yeah,
like they sold it when they got to that.
Yeah,
and I don't blame them for that. They're a collector, and guess what? They're rebuying them for under $2K.
So doesn't that make you, from the Instagram community viewpoint, I'm saying, then that makes you an investor, right? So that my point is that people within the community like to make names of like, well, this person's this thing, and this person's this thing, and this person's this thing. But at the end of the day, we're all doing the same stuff.
That's all irrelevant. We're all in it for the same reasons. We're all in it to it's supposed to be fun.
Exactly.
First of all. And I think it's gotten to the point now where this has put so much stress on people. And I hate seeing it because, like I said, we see people that are just leaving the hobby with
we've seen
such a bad taste in their mouth. And I don't like that, man. And like people start off as collectors and it was so easy to make money and they're doing this. Well, they over leveraged and overextended themselves. And now they're like, well, what am I going to do with this stuff? There was yesterday, the guy set up for the first time and he had a bunch of LeBron base PSA 10s.
Revolutions, right?
And they're literally, it's a $20 card now. And I'm like, well, what are you doing? If we take all these LeBrons, he had like 8 or 10 of them. And he goes, well, this one I paid $150 for, and I'll do like $1.25. I'm like, it's literally a $20 card.
Yeah.
So that's what we're seeing right now. And a lot of people have the same stuff. And we've all taken losses. I've taken losses. You've taken losses, Franklin. Everybody's taken losses who's in this business at one point or another. But you have to cut that loss at some point. And you can take that loss. And even if you had 10 cards, you sold them at $20 a card or something like that, take that $200 and put it into today's market and get $250 or $300. And then take that $300, turn it into $400, like right now he's sitting at like $200. It's going to be a loss no matter how he looks at it.
And you got to look at like, what's, what are the true collector based cards, right? Like,
there's one card I can think of that I think should always hold its value. And remember, guys, somebody might cut this clip up in 2 years and be like, oh, look at what Marc at Ultimate Pastime said. Or look at what Sasha said. This is all timing, okay?
Yeah.
We're talking about today. It's what is it, June 30th, 2022. Yeah. This is what we're talking about now, okay? Yeah. So whatever you want to do later is on you, but we're talking about the market today. And we're not telling you to go out and buy anything. We're not telling you what to do or how to do it. I'm just giving my opinion on things. I think Kobe Chrome PSA 9s are still a great investment.
What do they go for?
You just never see them. I don't even know. Maybe 1,500, I don't know. Something like that. I haven't checked them in a long time.
Yeah.
But that product it was a retail only product. You could buy that like at Walmart, and there weren't collectors out there like there are today, and you didn't even get one in a box guaranteed.
That's interesting.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah. So
and those things hit 15K during the peak of the pandemic.
And they have the greening aspect to the
They
card.
have the Hulk. They can Hulk, and they can turn green, and most of them are, 80-20 or 90-10 centering.
Yeah.
So if you can find a nice copy of that card, you're talking about like what base card do I think can hold its value? I really feel like that's the one.
Yeah, and it's like yesterday I got a Griffey. What was that? A Griffey Hank Aaron 101. Dual.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's
with
game
used
used. Yeah,
game
so it's
used
like
pieces, and it's on card.
Yeah, and that's the stuff personally where I'm cool with having that and holding that for a month, whatever it is, like not having to put it out right away, because
it's safe.
Those are the type of cards. I got a Jerry West rookie the other day. I actually messaged you about that Mantle. What was it?
Oh, those are awesome.
The Mantle Griffies, right?
The Mantle Griffey.
I got 3 of those coming in, and it's like switching up your inventory to maybe it's not as ROI crazy, but it's still you can still make money on it, right? And it's a little bit safer, right? So yes, if you're a dealer, maybe switching up what you have out, because you have to put out what people actually are collecting.
And it may not even be cards. I mean, you go to Frankenson, sometimes the card aisle is not the busiest, but you go to another aisle with the toys,
well, that's
the anime and the Pokemon and the Magic, and those aisles are packed.
They're packed.
So, I mean, start carrying that stuff.
Yeah, switching it up. I mean, I saw
memorabilia. You and I were talking about this earlier, how memorabilia is so undervalued right now. Even game use stuff, people are paying crazy money for little swatches of stuff when you can buy an actual game used jersey.
Yeah, again, these are all things that, because you go out to shows, you can see those things, right? You're there every day, like seeing what's going on in the market. Whereas like a lot of people, they don't have that opportunity, right?
But I mean, the one thing I could still say though is, if you're gonna start getting into different things, do your homework, learn it. Don't just jump in and buy into the hype, buy what everyone else is doing, because it's going to turn into like Zion all over again. Base prisms. I mean, look what happened with that. People.
What do those go for now? Zion base prism 10s, like $100, maybe $100.
Maybe a little more than that. Like
more.
I don't know. Maybe 150. I don't know.
It's got to be.
I think 9s are like $50 or 40. I don't know.
Luka's got to be like what, 350, 400 for his prism 10. Really?
For a 10, like $300 for Luka, 310 probably.
That's crazy.
That's crazy though. But you can buy them at probably 250, 275.
Yeah,
you see them.
But
it's probably a $300
like you mentioned yesterday. Let's say a card is worth 300 and you buy it for 250. Tomorrow it might be
tomorrow
worth 250.
It could be worth 250.
So we're still buying, because I mean that's what we do. It's just you want to be careful of what you're putting up 80, 90%, 95% into. You know,
if you're buying stuff at 90% or 80% right now, that's okay on certain things. I buy stuff at full comps. I buy stuff on eBay because I see it ending so cheap and I know it's a good deal. It's a hold.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, what about it if they base the comp on that? There's times where I've bought stuff on eBay. I think I talked about this last time I was on here. I've bought stuff on eBay and relisted it. As soon as I got it at a higher price, I've made 20, 30% on it.
I mean, that's good.
And it's still on the board for what I paid for it. But that's all irrelevant. It's the prices today.
Let's go to Rad Ripper's comment. I saw that one. Go up a little bit. There you go. Who are 3 people you each enjoy seeing, networking with, or just shooting the shit with at shows?
That's a good question.
Do you want to go first?
Of course, Jared, you're one of those guys. No, seriously. I love
100%.
I like guys who have been around a while, who can relate to kind of the pump that's been happening, but who I like to engage with are the youngsters who I can see. Like when I was 14, I was starting like Daniel and his dad and his mom bring him to every show. Like that kid, he wants to learn and he's moving more towards vintage. I want to engage with people who I can help, I think, or if they have questions that I can kind of guide them in the right direction. And I just love talking to everybody, man. I can't pick 3 people. There's probably 1,000 people that I love talking to. I talk to everybody, but I think I think the youngsters and the ones who are really coming out, and we can tell them and explain to them like what to do and kind of how to do it, and preach to them not to overextend themselves at such a young age. I think those are the ones who I enjoy talking to.
You're like passing down like some information,
Yeah,
basically.
for what it's worth.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of that information is quality because, again, even though our space is developing, there still is a lack of, I feel like, education within the market too. So
I feel like too many people, like, dude, I try to give tips. Like the other day, I gave a tip about a website called fatfingers.com. I don't know if you saw it. It's
no,
called, did you see that, Frank? It's called fatfingers.com. And what this site is if you go to fatfingers.com and you type in what you're looking for. So I put in like Shohei Ohtani. What it does, it pulls up everything that's misspelled on eBay.
really.
And you
So
can,
there's deals,
and you can find some deals because people aren't searching that. It's misspelled. So I think when
That's
I did
huge.
it, I think there was 181 Shohei Ohtani listings that were spelled wrong. Dude, I got messages from people like, man, Mark, like, why are you giving away secrets like that? Like, I use that side of me. I'm not trying to keep secrets. I want everyone to succeed.
Yeah.
I want everybody to do good, because if everyone's doing good, it's thriving, man. And like, it's just funny, like some of the negativity that you get when you try to help people or give free information. And like I said, though, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You could tell somebody exactly how to do everything, and you could give them the process. 99 out of 100 people aren't going to do every single step to get to that point.
Yeah, but that information being out there is going to help that one person that
Sure.
really wants to be in this industry.
And the way I look at it, if I post something on my story and 1 or 2 people benefit from it, I've done my job.
Yeah. Yeah. 3 people is tough. I don't know if I want to just name 3 people, but I do enjoy anytime Jared is off of work. I always like going to shows with him, like seeing you guys, like seeing all the other local guys at shows. And then when I go to out of state shows, I like seeing those people that
Yeah.
I'm in group chats with that I don't get to see on a regular basis. I like, grabbing a bite to eat with them, doing deals with those people, and just building the network out that way. I mean, it's kind of cool to see over the last couple of years, those relationships you develop. Chris Costa came all the way from Boston to come on the podcast, cool. Hang out, go check out the shops, with us, and kind of get the vibe over there. And then, eventually I'm going to go out there and check out the vibe over there,
And I mean, but building like relationships don't happen overnight.
Yeah. I mean, that's not going to happen over a 2-week friendship.
Exactly. Right? So you got to build these relationships. And then when you go to these shows, people are like, well, how do you get, like, why does he give you such a good deal on something? It's a 2-way street. Like, yeah. I hope a lot of people, I fill repack products for them. I do this and that. Like, you help people, yeah. And it's got to be a 2-way street where it comes back to you too. Or I've done something for somebody over the years that, now if they can help me, they will. You know? But
that's what that's what we do. Live shows here on Whatnot. And, people are like, well, why are you giving why are you selling because it's $1 auctions. We do $1 auctions, and like sometimes you'll see it. It's like a $400 card, right?
I gotta say, I'm very excited to be here today to see how that goes. I've been approved on Whatnot. They've been emailing me to get on there and do a live. I'm gonna watch you do it, and who knows, maybe I'll be doing my own lives here soon.
Yep, 100%. Make sure you guys follow Mark on Whatnot's Ultimate Pastime on Whatnot. Check him out. But yeah, the whole thing is like sometimes I'll have a $400 card, and I'm just like, you know what, Franklin, fuck it, we're ripping it at
Run it at $1. It might go for 200.
Yeah, it does like 200 or 250, and I'm like, that person's gonna be appreciative of that. Yes, I lost $150, but over the whole course of the live,
not only that, not just the course of the live, that person is going to tune into every one of your lives that you have going forward, because he knows that he's going to get a fair price on something.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not always about making money.
Like 100%. And that's the whole thing about building up a community within, like a lot of people. There's Whatnot's bringing in a lot of new sellers, right?
Sure.
So if you go on the platform right now, there's a plethora of people that you can go in and tune into live. So the question is like, what separates you from that next person that's right next to you, right? And that comes within community and
I saw that, man. I really like what Whatnot's doing. I really do. It's the future.
Yeah, they're gonna, they've I've heard some of the new things that they're gonna be doing. It's gonna be pretty cool. So, and And it's what's needed. Like, let's say, you're at a show and you can't move that $20 card or that $40 card or that $100 card for some reason. Well, you go on to Whatnot, you do a show, your buyer pool opens up tremendously, right?
But what I love most about it is you don't have to wait 7 days for an auction to end, and it still could end at $4 or $6. It's going to end right away. The second thing that I really like about Whatnot is when that buyer buys something, it hits their credit card. You don't have any non-paying bidders.
Yeah.
And a deal's a deal. Yeah. It's done.
They've kind of simplified that process. Whereas I think eBay is trying to get there with their authentication. And so I bought a card.
That's a mess anyway.
Okay, yeah, I bought 2 cards off eBay. And I'll make this point real quick, then we'll stop it. But I bought 2 cards off eBay recently, like 2 weeks ago, and they still haven't came in yet.
We talked about this yesterday.
They're both football cards.
Timing's everything.
And it's a timing thing. And I'm like, because I totally forgot about the whole authentication thing. So I was like, this kind of kills that whole day trade aspect to it, which sucks. During our little break, there was a funny comment that somebody said they dated Mark in middle school and he wore the same uniform. And then they said it's still looking good, Mark. So that was a funny little break. Let's get into more questions. Future Legend said, what are the best ways to find collections to buy?
Obviously going to shows and just being out there on a daily basis and meeting people is the best way to have people contact you to say that, when they're selling something. Because if they give you the first crack at it, hey, it may not be the right deal for you, but at least they're offering it to you. Offer up Facebook pages, Instagram.
Yeah. There's so many ways to get it done. Now, I think when people are like, well, how do you get those crazy deals, which don't come out often, but it goes back to how you said the relationships and that aspect.
I get deals. Unfortunately, the deals that I hate the most is when the spouse or the family member of a longtime customer of mine calls and says that somebody passed away.
Yeah.
Those are like the worst deals, because you lost a friend, and not only a customer, but a friend. They're going through their own stuff right now. They're trying to figure out what to do with all this stuff. If something happens to me, my wife, she doesn't want to deal with it. She's not going to want, there's too much. So those are like the worst collections to have to buy. But a lot of times it's unfortunate, but you get stuff like that. Back in the day, they had what they called the penny saver. Have you ever heard of that?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
The penny saver. I'd go through classified ads on that. People selling stuff. SCD, Sports Collectors Digest, would always have stuff. And now it's just word of mouth. The best advertisement's word of mouth. And
when you're around for so long, your network kind of
opens up. It really does. And then people say, oh, I know someone who deals in cards.
Yeah.
And God, I bought this collection about a year ago, and this lady, somebody that my mother-in-law knew, and she was older. She was like in her 80s, and her husband passed away. And he had all these things, and I go over there, and they're like, I'm not kidding you, probably like 5,000 Sports Illustrateds and programs, heavy as hell. They're all in these boxes. Well, there's one little box, okay, and I look at it, and at the time, the magazines weren't worth a ton of money. Now they're starting to grade them. So Sports Illustrateds with no labels, there's companies that'll grade them. They'll go for good money. But at the time, that wasn't significant. And she had a little box, and I open up the box, and it's all the ticket stubs from all the games, from all the programs that he had, which ticket stubs are huge, right? It's a growing market right now. So I'm like, I forgot her name. I said, but do you have any more of stuff like this? She goes, honey, that was the first thing I threw away. I couldn't lift up these heavy boxes.
No way.
She threw away all the ticket stubs. There was one little box left. But she goes, I would have thrown away the magazines too, but they're too heavy. She couldn't lift them because they were heavy. But these little boxes, she said, I had about 6 or 8 boxes like that I just tossed.
That's pain.
But the magazines are too heavy. I'm like, oh no.
See, there's got to be something like where you like have a good communication though, like when like for some odd reason, like let's say like like somebody passes away tomorrow, does their significant other know like what this is worth and what's that worth?
Call Heather if I die tomorrow, man. She'll give you everything for like 5 kids. She doesn't even care. She doesn't even want to deal with it.
No, but like realistically, like let's say like for some odd reason, like
It
something
happens every
happens,
day.
right? Like how does the spouse go about like dealing with it, or is it at the point where they just don't want to
I have
deal
a
with it?
lot of people who have told me, Mark, like I told my wife if something happens to call you, and I'm like, please don't, man. I want you here. I don't even want to deal with that. I don't want to think about losing a friend. Like
Yeah.
I'd rather have you here. Let's cross that bridge when we get to
All right. Well, I got you. I just let you know. I'm
it.
not I'm not gonna let anybody have they're
Call
gonna go
Heather.
to, yeah, they're gonna go to Heather's house and be like, yeah, I'll take all this stuff for like $100. I'm gonna say, fuck no.
Well, I appreciate that.
um okay, so we got another question. Future Legend said, what are you guys most excited for in the near future? So I guess it could be, I guess we could say, card related, not card related, but what are you kind of looking forward to for the future?
For the future of the hobby right now, I'm looking forward to getting things stabilized again and getting the market back on track. I really, I mean, everything was so inflated. I'm just looking forward to it getting back and everybody having a good time again.
Yeah.
Right now, there's too much stress and panic and stuff going on in the hobby. I'm really looking forward to the hobby crash correcting itself, whatever you want to call it. Right now, just getting back on a straight line again, where people can start to enjoy themselves again.
Yeah, I mean, you can even start to see it at the trade nights and the shows,
The
the level
panic.
of excitement and isn't I wouldn't say isn't there, but maybe wasn't where it was
Well,
before.
here's the
And
thing: when things are good, everybody's happy. Everybody's doing,
yeah,
they're excited and they're flaunting themselves. And when things are bad, you notice it.
they're gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
And that's the
It's
thing,
gone.
like you want to see how people act when things aren't doing well, right?
So
Like
the
you want to see their
and and just be careful out there because I just say it how it is, man. And people do desperate things in desperate times.
yeah,
And
we've
we're seeing
noticed
a lot of
that.
that stuff. And
Yeah.
just be careful out there. Be careful out there. There's always going to be people out there who aren't in everything for your best interest. That's all I'm
Yeah,
gonna say.
that's a very, very good point, man. When you're going out to these shows and going to these trade nights, and you want to be extremely careful, extremely out, especially out here in Southern California. And like you mentioned, when things aren't going well, stuff happens, and you want to make sure that your safety's first,
Yeah.
right? And
Yep.
that's the scary part, and that's also an indicator of the economy in general, I
Sure,
guess, in a way.
and family first too, and your livelihood. This is supposed to be fun for everybody. Some people have taken it to the next level where they're doing it as a passive income or to supplement other income, and they're stressed. But there's no deal out there that's worth jeopardizing um, anything that you have in your regular in your life with your family or anything else. There's nothing out there worth more than that.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. We got another question in. Do you think that 2020 F1 sealed product will be one of the most sought after products moving forward? Before I answer this question, I would say I've owned Chrome 2020 release boxes and cases before. Um, I mean, I was just using it more as like stuff to buy and sell. I would say that it's still decently strong. I know it's come down a little bit, but I think it still sells pretty well.
Yeah.
Um, but again, if you're looking to buy into it, it's not necessarily cheap product. So you have to look from how are you buying it as? Are you buying it to just stash it and put it away? Are you able to do that, right? In terms of your capital and stuff like that. But I think there's a lot of good things going for it. I also think that maybe, it could come down a little bit. Who knows? It's just
Mhm.
the world and the market. But, if you've done your research and you've done your due diligence, then, that decision, should be an easy one for you to make, right?
Yeah, I think my response to that is the same thing we talked about, like with the soccer, with a case of F1 Prism. There's only 18 or 20 drivers in the entire sport,
Mm,
and you and I have talked about this before. That everybody's chasing two or three guys. All it's going to take is for one guy to slip through and win,
yep.
and that whole product is going to revive itself.
Yeah. No. 100%. F1 Sapphire has also been another thing that's been insanely crazy. So there's a lot of avenues you can go after. I know the singles of F1s has, because they went up so much the last couple of months. They're starting to come down just a little bit, but I would say I would rather have probably wax than the singles. So,
For sure.
I mean, the wax is hard to get. Goated Sports Card says, What were you guys' first collection piece, and do you still own them? You want to take that?
Yeah, I mean, I collected the first packs of cards that I can remember opening was like 84, 85 Topps baseball, and then the first full box of cards that I ever can remember opening was 86 Topps baseball, and I've got I don't have the original ones, but I've got sealed boxes of all of them just put away just because they have sentimental value to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for me, when I got in it, it was from such a more like financial aspect,
Mm-hmm.
where I was buying, stuff that I thought the players that were going to be good, and I got lucky on a couple of those early. Whereas I didn't have the collecting aspect first with it.
See, and I had
Where
yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
you're the opposite, right?
Right.
Where when I was learning more and learning more, Kobe's my favorite player, so I got really into Kobe cards. But even still, from there, from more of a dealer perspective, because you look at some of those prices, it's crazy, right? And then actually, probably I want to say within the last year, maybe like a year ago, I really got into Muhammad Ali cards from a collecting aspect
Yeah.
because it hit some interesting points for me. Number one, compared to the rest of GOAT markets, I just thought that, man, this stuff is so cheap. I can buy up so much of
Yeah.
it, and I don't have to worry about, man, I have to go sell this to some, I can just have it and hold it. And I do think it is a good like long-term
Sure.
like piece
I mean,
to
he was
give
the
away.
greatest. He was a goat.
And yeah, and you can go get a sick, sticker or a sick like 1950, 60 card for nothing, like 50, $100, $150. So
No, it's an original card too.
so I have a nice little stash of Muhammad Ali cards that I enjoy and I collect, and that's what I like to collect.
That's cool. And I was always a collector. I don't know where it came from, but my parents never collected or anything like that. But as a kid, it got to a point where my grandparents and my parents, like, they didn't want to buy me certain things because they didn't think I'd enjoy it. Like, they'd buy me a factory set, or they'd buy me like a wrestling figure, and I never wanted to open it because I wanted to save it because I collected it.
Yeah.
And at a time, my grandma and my mom, my dad, my grandpa, like, you know what? Like, we're gonna get him something else because I don't think he enjoys what I'm getting him. He doesn't even open it. I'm like, I love it. Just because I'm not opening it, like, I'm a collector.
Yeah, they're like they don't like
he
doesn't like his gifts.
He doesn't want to open the cards. I said, like, I know what's in them. It was a factory set, 792 cards. Every set has the same card name, and I knew what was in there, and I just wanted to keep it sealed.
Yeah, see, I was the opposite. Anytime I got something, I just rip that shit open,
And
bro.
toys too, man. I'd hang the toys up on my
So
wall.
what? You'd be playing,
dude.
and then like all your stuff is just like
Hey, sometimes I'd get two of them and I'd keep one sealed and then I would open one.
That's interesting. You've always had that in you.
I don't know, and I don't know where it started. Like I said, my parents weren't collectors. My sister is not a collector. She hates overstock. She hates the clutter, or my whole life's clutter.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna ask too. Like, what does your family like think about like this whole business that you've created?
They think it's crazy. I mean, obviously, my dad passed away in 2017, and I mean, one of the last things he told me was how proud he was of me for being able to do what I've built up. And it's not just the collecting, like with the marketing end of it too, with the athletes and stuff like that, and the relationships that I've built with them. I got to send my dad to some pretty cool events, like with some of the guys that he idolized, that he never would have gotten to do, but they think it's crazy, just like everything else. They think it's crazy. I went to it's always in you. Like, that grind is always in you. I took my daughter, she was, I think, 8 years old. I took her to a Taylor Swift concert. And this is going back to, so it must have been like 2009, 2010 maybe. And we went to this concert and we're at the souvenir stand. I'm holding her hand. So, what do you want, honey? She goes, I want the shirt. I want that. And I'm looking, I'm like, what is that? It said signed CD covers, Taylor Swift, $20. And I'm like, what the heck, $20? I asked the lady, I said, are the CD covers signed $20? She goes, yeah, and you get a sealed CD. I just bought the CD at Target for my daughter for like $18 or whatever it was. So not only did you get the CD, you got a signed CD cover also. I told the lady, I'll take whatever you have there. So
You bought it all.
I go, honey, I told my daughter, honey, like we got to go to the next stand. I walked around every souvenir stand and I bought everything that they had. It was just, that's just,
Hands at a Taylor Swift concert, just buying.
Wait, you want to hear the worst part? And my wife called me a creeper. I bought a single ticket for the next night. I went back and bought them again.
Oh my God.
And I didn't even, I wasn't there for the show. I wanted to get the things. They were $20 each and they're easily selling for over 100.
Oh, so you crushed.
So it's just always been in me, like it's crazy, you know what I mean?
If you go to if you're going by yourself to a Taylor Swift
I paid
concert,
for everything, man. It paid for the tickets, the limo we took. It was cool. We had a good time.
Okay, we got another question coming in. What sports card do you think? Wait, which sport do you think owns the sports card market right now?
I would still have to say basketball, just because it's worldwide.
Yeah.
And soccer. I mean, soccer's too, but it's not as big as basketball. Basketball, I would say, really dominates the industry right now.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you know something we haven't even brought up yet.
What's that?
This past Saturday, the triple logo man on Golden Auction sold for $2.3 million. Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I think it didn't hit the expectation that everybody was talking about, but that's a hell of a lot of freaking money, dude, for a modern day card that didn't even look that nice.
Yeah.
In my opinion. I mean, that other one that I posted, it was a logo man from Exquisite 0405.
I think Shine owns that.
Yeah.
Shine owns that.
Yeah, I shared that.
Yeah, that might be one of the greatest basketball cards of all time. I think that is
awesome.
Yeah.
Kobe, Jordan, LeBron, triple logo man from Exquisite.
Yeah, that probably is
I'd have to say that's up there, man.
But this is what's crazy about the whole triple logo man. The product was literally made like last year, right? It comes out and there's a piece of cardboard in that product worth $2.3 million. Like this product was just made. Like it's out and then something inside that's worth $2.3 million.
All I can do.
That is amazingly beautiful.
All I can say is thank God that thing wasn't hit early on, because that stuff never would have hit $40K a box.
Yeah.
If that was hit early on.
I think it got it that much because of the whole Drake thing, right?
The hype. And then Whatnot did. It was. I
had a chance, man. I had a chance to get the Lambo.
I thought I was going to show up and there'd be a Lambo here.
That would have been sick. We hit a Magic 101. That's close enough. But yeah, I think a lot of people, like when, there was an estimation what to go for. I thought it was. I thought it was going to do
5 to 6.
I thought it was going to do like 3 to 4, right? Didn't I say that? There was rumors that Shine or Drake had a standing offer of like $3 million.
There was other dudes too that were saying that they were going to pay 2.7 and they couldn't bid, supposedly. Like they're trying to bid.
I heard that.
I did hear that. Someone tried putting a bid in, but it wouldn't take it. Or because I think you had to be registered, right? On
yeah. But I mean, if you're not registered by the time that extended hits, you can't bid anyways. And if you're that not in it to not go through those things,
then you're probably going
to then you're not an actual buyer. But
who knows? I mean, maybe one day the buyer who got it, it'll end back up on the market.
Yeah, but I mean, again, I think that the market, thinking that the sale wasn't amazing, that product was made last year.
That's huge.
There's a card in it that sold for $2.3 million. That is insane. Everybody in the sports card market should be hella hyped about that, because that made it on news networks that
it did
are huge, and
it went for 2.2 or 2.4 million in a time where the card market's down.
Exactly. That's a lot of money. I mean, nobody's gonna.
That's a ton of money for cardboard. You could have bought the actual game used jerseys. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
The memorabilia, from the memorabilia aspect.
And now from that aspect, that does 2.3 million. What is that triple logo man of Exquisite was Kobe, LeBron, Jordan worth?
That's got to be a lot.
It's signed too, or is it?
No, it's not signed.
So it's just the logo mans of all three, and it's it's 101.
It's a 101, yeah, from an older product. You know that old basketball stuff does crazy
It's
money now?
0304
It's
exquisite.
0405, I believe.
I wonder if they made one for 0304 of that.
That's pretty crazy.
I mean, that's a lot more than the flawless one. I would off the
I
bat.
think so.
Exquisite. That's literally. I would say exquisite is the best product of all time, or at least the best high end product of all time.
I agree with that. I really do. I remember my buddy was opening cases of that and pulled dual LeBron Jordans and stuff like that at like 0304 at like 2,000 a pack. You go, you're crazy paying 2,000 a pack. Nah.
People were saying that at the time, nobody wanted to buy it because they thought it was super expensive. Is that true?
Very true. Very true. It was super expensive.
$500?
Yeah. I mean, for a pack,
Well, now you would have crushed it.
I mean, that was unheard of. That was unheard of, you know. But things change. It's all relative. I posted a thing yesterday for like a way back Wednesday or something like that. And it was we brought Clayton Kershaw into Frankenson to sign autographs, and I posted the original flyer, and the price is on there, and it says clearly this was in 2012, right? I got messages from people. Hey, how do I order? Where do I place an order? How many can I buy? Is there a wholesale price if I want 4 pieces? I'm like, dude, his last signing to sign a game used jersey was $2,500. His cheapest was like $500 or $475 for his last signing. I think we were charging $69, $79, and $89 or something like that. Small, medium, large.
It's weird how you look back on things like that.
It's crazy.
I either thought was a good deal at the time and then turned out to be terrible, or you thought that was super expensive and then turned out to be an insane deal.
Yeah.
We got another question coming in. What grading company do you prefer? PSA or BGS, and why? I personally like PSA, but I also like resubbing cards to BGS.
You just did really good with something like that, huh?
Yeah. There was a card that was a PSA. What was it? It was a PSA 8. Cracked it, sent it to BGS. It BGS 9.5
with a 10 auto.
With a 10 auto.
Yeah. See, that's good. I mean, value wise, PSA is always going to be up there. I like how Beckett really distinguishes the auto grade on their slabs. I do like that. I don't really care for SGC. I always feel like it's backwards, like the auto grade and the regular grade. It looks backwards to me. I'm like, hey, wait, because first someone looks at it, oh, it's a 10. Well, that's the auto grade. It's an 8. You know, like it seems backwards to me. But I mean, PSA and Beckett are always going to be.
Yeah, there's also
too, but there's some cool stuff coming out too.
Yeah,
that we got a little sneak peek on.
I don't think we can say it too much.
It was pretty cool though. It was pretty cool, and I wish them the best of luck. They've really put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this, and I look forward to seeing what they're going to do in the industry.
Yeah, I mean they'll probably be coming, doing their thing, and in some time here, so it'll be interesting to see how that works out. With any new grading any new grading companies make it, I think a lot will fail, but I think that there's probably some, and some that we know that have a real good shot.
It's a tough time to get into the market right now.
It is.
The people that we met with, they've been working on this for 8 or 10 years. So I mean, and they understand it's a tough time, and people are going to hate. I mean, that's just what happens. People would much rather give a negative response to something than give somebody a chance and praise them for what the hard work they've put into something.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited to see, again, there are so many new companies coming into this market at the same time.
Yeah.
So there's innovation, or at least companies trying to innovate. Many will fail, but there will be a few that succeed in a huge way that can benefit the industry in a positive way.
Yeah, I agree with that. I really do.
Whatnot, for example, 3 years ago, or when I think they started, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago. I mean, and then now look where they're at today. They've literally changed market. They've created a market in a way. with really bringing live sailing into the collecting industry.
It's awesome. I mean, people have been going live on Facebook and doing stuff like that for years, but what they've done, they've made it so easy. That's why I said I can't wait to watch you do this dollar live slab
Yeah.
after this, after the slab sale, just because I'm interested and
Yeah.
I've been approved and they've been calling me, hey, like we're ready for you. We want you on
Yep.
there. I haven't had time for one,
Yeah.
but two, I think people are kind of hesitant to jump into something that they don't know. And it's cool to get to like see how you do it and see the process. And who knows, man? Maybe one day.
Oh, you gotta do a sale, bro. I keep telling him because it's like you go to it's not just sports cards for you, it's collectibles in general,
Yeah.
right? You have a vast variety of inventory that I think that could do people would enjoy, right?
Yeah, it's something different.
Something different.
It's something different, totally something different. And this is something that everyone else can do too. When you go to these places, not just card shows, but you go to thrift stores, estate sales, garage sales, you can find something for a nickel, a quarter, or a dime, and you could do these $1 auctions. It might go for $6 to $10 or $20, $30. You never know. I mean, this could open the doors. I mean, with Whatnot, your options are endless.
All right, we're back, guys. We got a bunch of questions the way. I think you wanted to answer one first.
About the custom cards.
Yeah, somebody asked, what was the question exactly? Can we go to it, Franklin? What are your guys' thoughts on custom cards? Will there be a future for them?
So I'm gonna start with that. Depending on how you look at like a quote unquote custom card, okay? There's guys who do shows who make awesome custom cards, BP's custom cards, something shark bait custom cards. There's guys who do these things at shows and they're awesome. I think those are always going to be cool for collectors because they can get a unique item in their collection of maybe their favorite player or something like that. What I don't like are the ones who are calling them custom cards, but they're reprinting like the kabooms and they're reprinting like the jersey cards, like, and they're putting Jordan and Panini. Like, come on, there's no Jordan and Panini, but it's got a facsimile autograph on there. It's got a fake logo, man. Like, I'm out for those. I think because I think that's really misleading to new people who are coming into the community who think that they're getting something that they're really not.
You bring up a good point though, because like we have our friend Kelvin, right? It's funny, I have these right here. He made custom cards for his dogs.
I've got a set of that, Boki.
But he went through Tops. I guess Tops, you can literally make cards. So he did that and he started giving it out to people. So like what happens there? Like you make a custom card through Tops, you put it up on eBay. Like does it get authenticated or does it not? Like I don't know how that works. You know what I mean?
Have you seen the comps on those cards?
No, these are through the roof.
Like
through the roof.
One of them was like $3K, I think, 3,800, something like that.
This is my favorite one, Bitter Boki.
But this is a perfect example of why comps are irrelevant a lot of the times when there's only one comp for something.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, it was a big joke. He was having fun with it, but it shows that Boki card sold for $3,800. Did somebody buy it? No. Absolutely not. But that's why you got to be careful. Another thing too, when you're looking at comps, time sensitive, man. You have to look at that. Man. Don't let somebody pull you a comp from the beginning of 2021 or, of something that, just because there's only one comp, like it's not what it's worth today.
Yeah, it's funny because, Rye from Burbank, me and him, we'll talk,
sure.
Every now and again, we got some time and, it's funny because he'll know, like, he'll be like, yeah, this person, he always comes in, tries to show me this comp, right? And I always have to be like sharp with him because he checks Card Ladder and all these different platforms because then I'll find a comp for, what he bought it for or whatever it was like a week ago. And it was 50% left or less than what.
Yeah. But he's showing you a comp from a year and a half ago.
Yeah. And that happens, when we go to shows too, people are, try to show you certain comps and not give you the full picture. And that's why I love these new, apps and stuff. You have alt for graded cards. And then there's also a raw card app. What is that called? Center Stage, which I've met the owners before in Atlanta. And I've talked to them probably, I don't know, a month or two ago. Really, really good guys. And they're really trying to, push, push. Oh, I lost my train of thought. I'm just kidding. I push.
I think it's good what you're saying.
Yeah, push comps.
But
for raw cards.
It's making it available to the public, where
Yeah.
it used to be so hard for somebody to find a comp, and here they are now. You can scan a card on alt, and it's
Well, because you got to think about it too. Like if you're going and looking at a raw or graded card, right, with alt or center stage, you can literally boom, take a picture, take a scan, comps pull up.
Yep.
Whereas 2 years ago,
so
you're going
easy.
to eBay, then you have to go to 130 point to make sure it gets paid.
Terapeak.
Or Terapeak. Whereas now these two apps come out and they just cut that down. And those are two startups coming in the industry and benefiting.
And some people hate it because it's killing their game.
Yeah.
They show up and nobody could ever find the comp of this card they're trying to overcharge you for.
Yep.
Now it's like, here it is. Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
They found it. Like, you know what I mean? It's crazy like that.
Yeah, because a lot of people used to buy stuff off Golden because the comp wouldn't show up, or buy stuff off whatever auction house it is. And there is stuff though where you go to auction house and there's not enough eyes on it, so you can buy it at a really good price.
Yeah. Everywhere though, even eBay, and that's why comps are comps. It's kind of like a guide to give you a ballpark of what something's worth.
Yeah.
But it's not the Bible, man. It's not like
it's not the end all be all.
Exactly, the end all be all. And if comps never changed and they never went up, if someone didn't pay more, the market's just like this or like this right now.
Yeah.
But if someone starts paying more and actually buying things and getting paid for, that's what's going to boost the market up a little bit.
I agree 100%. And I think if you're, going after something where you haven't been able to find it for a while, and this is something that you're really just going to hold on to and, like you said, pass it down, then hey, yeah, maybe you pay a little bit more because you want that, you want that for your collection. But if you're doing it from more of a dealer perspective, you want to be aware, right? You want to make sure that you're doing your diligence and buying stuff at hopefully price points that make sense. Because that's the biggest thing too. I mean, there's you don't want to, if a card's worth $280 and you thought it was worth $375 and you paid $280, and you're $280, you're working to get your $280 back, which is time.
Yeah, and another thing too, that the people who do it as a business, some of you guys know this, some of you guys may not, but if you buy on eBay, you can put your resale license on there. Okay. Yep. Everybody's saying, well, if you bought it on eBay, you would pay this. Well, if you do it the right way, you're doing it as a business and you have a resale license, you add that on eBay, you don't pay tax on stuff because the item's going to be resold.
100%.
So that's a little fun fact too, I guess.
Yeah, you got to get your seller's permit.
Yeah, get your seller's permit, which is free.
It is free.
It doesn't cost anything to have a seller's permit.
You get your seller's permit for your state, from your state,
and then that document, and everything you buy on eBay, you don't pay tax on.
Yeah, you just got to make sure you pay your sales tax. A lot of people don't know that. Isn't that weird?
Well, what's the question, Franklin? I can't see that.
This one says about BGS. Do you think that's the way for patch autos and thicker cards?
I like it. Only thing I don't like about BGS is when they put a little thick card, like a 2.5 by 3.5, and a holder like that'll hold like an 8 by 10. Have you seen those cards? Like,
yeah, it's weird.
Yeah,
I think thick cards are the way to go because also BGS does grade them a little bit easier versus PSA. But also a lot of like big collectors like the look of it. But I don't. For me, like I just look at it more value wise. But I do notice that a lot of the bigger exquisite stuff like that is usually in BGS.
Always goes.
Can we go up to the whatnot one? Because I want to make sure I answer that. Somebody asked, is whatnot why the market is down, though, with so many cards cases being broke and cards underselling? I do not think so. I think whatnot is an avenue for people to go and sell their cards.
I think whatnot's helping.
Yeah, I think whatnot's
the industry.
Helping.
This is a very interesting point. This is the first time in 2 years that I've seen people wanting to trade down. Yeah. And I think it stems a lot to whatnot because they can trade down. They have a 10K card. They could get, $520 cards, and they're gonna cash out and make some money on platforms like eBay and whatnot. But if those cards drop, if they drop by 25%, they're only losing $5 or something like that on some of the cards. Where if the thing drops 25%, they're at $2,500 on one card. on a 10K card. So I think Whatnot's actually helping the sales. I watch a lot of Whatnot. I bought some stuff on Whatnot. I feel like it's helped. You see lots of like Mike Trout or Otani, a 3 or 5 card lot go for $10, $15 when those cards are sitting in someone's dollar box or 50-cent box at a show. But once again, it's taking the time to actually go through the process, set up your Whatnot, and be approved to sell. And then you could be selling stuff like that. Those comps don't show up anywhere. Those comps aren't showing up on, and that would actually help
That
the
would
market.
be interesting.
That would be interesting. This is good.
Yes.
If Whatnot comps would show up to show that someone's paying $4 a card for Mike Trout's.
I think that's interesting.
For base cards,
I
right?
think that'd be super intriguing.
Maybe that's something Whatnot can work on.
You have raw card, you get center stage to link with Whatnot, something like that. And then there would have to be something synced up, but being able to see the comps, like that's true market. Like
that is true market. People are buying that. And like the saying that something's only worth what somebody's willing to pay for it, people are paying for that.
Well, and also like,
but people don't see that. Maybe
something sells over, but something sells less.
Right.
Both those comps should show.
It's gonna even itself out.
Right. Because you'd have to think, well, yeah, eBay is a selling platform, but Whatnot is. So why is it only eBay comps and not Whatnot? Yeah, I think it's super intriguing.
And there's a lot of other private sales that never get documented or
I think
reported.
Card Ladder has recently started to intake private sales. So the buyer and the seller has to
agree on that.
Yeah, like go. I don't know exactly how it works, but
I mean that's good. But I mean some of the stuff I see sell on here on Whatnot, I think if people saw that could boost up the base stuff, and that's the stuff that everybody has. The pandemic era stuff.
Yeah.
The Prism, Mosaic, Optus, Select, Tops, Base, Upper Deck. You know what I mean? Everybody has the base stuff. It does sell.
Yeah.
It does sell, and Whatnot is proof of that.
100%. Somebody said, any plans on creating a show in the South Bay or LA area for South Bay? Everything right now is in the Valley or OC.
I haven't heard of anything going down to South Bay. I think it'd be a good place to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have. I mean, me personally, I don't really have any aspirations to do a show.
Yeah.
I do like doing, like, we did a trade night. Me and Kenny did a trade night. Kind of brought, like, it was just more of a community thing, right?
Yeah.
We did a trade night. We supplied everybody with a bunch of food, and we had a basketball game, right? I want to do more stuff like that.
I think trade night pop-ups.
Yeah, that's basically that's something that excites me, because a show to me is just like everybody's doing it, whereas like more of just like a cool event where people can come, chill, bring their cards in a safe environment. We had 5 security guards there.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
In a gym, because I was like, well, you go to these shows, there's no security. Like, why don't we make people feel safe, right? 5 security guards, bunch of food, chill environment, kicking it with the homies,
and
watch people play basketball.
There's a 3-point contest.
That's something that I'm passionate about.
I think something too, maybe if any of you guys know, you can DM one of us or something like that. Maybe like a restaurant that may be struggling, or if something's we could do like a pop-up at a restaurant. People will go, they're going to buy food, they're going to eat, and do a trade night, something like that, and everybody wins on that. I love helping people, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I guess more of the community trade night type thing.
Because if you announce that there's a trade night, people are going to show up no matter where it is. It could be at a dentist office. It could be anywhere. Like, people, if there's cards, people are going to go.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter where.
And I remember, and one of the reasons I got so into the hobby and the industry was because when I first went to trade nights at Bullpen LA, man, those were so crazy.
Those were awesome.
Like, there was nobody. Now, I don't want to say nowadays, but now, like, people have their cards laying out at a trade night, and I'm like
it's a show.
Yeah, and like it used to be, like if you did that at trade nights, they would. That's a huge no.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how that started happening, where like that became like okay.
Mm-hmm.
But like, because the whole point of a trade night is to like have your stuff, interact with the person, them go through your stuff, you go through your stuff, and then that gets you communicating and stuff. But if you have your just stuff out, like laid out, That's a card show. That's not a trade night.
I mean, here's the thing. We're so lucky here in Southern California to have not only the shows, the Frankenstein, the Diamond Nine, the premier shows. We have the shops. We got,
Yeah.
Burbank and the Bullpen and BNS Sports. Like, there's so many different places for people to go. When we go up north to Dion's show, like, it's an awesome show.
That's fun.
But like the trade nights, it's not really like a trade night. It's like a hotel lobby takeover.
And it used to be
like people are on the floor with their cards laid out.
And
like it's awesome.
It used to be the trade night was the thing. Like, the show was cool. The trade night was when like real business goes down. But now it doesn't feel like that. Like it doesn't have that same. I don't know. It doesn't have that same feeling to it. Like, people are just more like have their cards out, sit there, and they don't talk to anybody. And I think that's the main problem. If I do a trade night, the next trade night, I'll say, like, you can't have your cards out like that, because that gets you talking. Because you see it, you go to a trade night and nobody's talking to each other. They just have their cards out.
Or one thing too, we talk about safety. How many cards have you seen?
Yeah, and they lay them out, bro.
Night? Hey, be on the lookout for this card. It was stolen at trade night. Well, I mean, you don't have display cases at trade night.
You just have them.
Who knows? It might evolve to that one day.
I don't get where that happened. Where people were just like, "This is what you're supposed to do." Like,
even last night, I was like so nervous for some of the guys over at Average Joe's who had like their stuff laid out. I'm like, dude, that's some big stuff laying out right there. That, God forbid, somebody comes in.
So
not that.
So
honest.
there was like a trade night etiquette too. So like, if somebody's looking through, like if you're looking through my case, nobody else around you could look through it until he was done.
Those days are over, dude.
And then gave it over to you.
You got. It's a grab
because it was a safety thing. Because number one, like you're focusing on you, like, you know what I mean. And then also, like, if he wanted a card, you would do that deal. You know what I mean? So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I guess I kind of missed that. I missed that. Because I remember it would be like a Saturday, and I'd be like, "Fuck yeah!" Like, I'm gonna go to a trade night.
Dude, Mitch's trade night would go to like 2-3 in the morning.
Oh, it was that. I'm telling you, that's what got me like into this. Like, really, like, was going there. I met Coleman there. I met Shia there. I met like a bunch of other guys. Like,
but like I said,
Chris from Card Ladder was there. Like, I don't think we interacted too much over there.
Not yet.
I probably thought you were a cop. Like, I was probably a little scared of it. We met at that show that was
Bill Simpson's, the pet store.
No, we met. Did we meet then?
Was it there?
No, I think it was probably. But I remember the first initial time I like knew, like, I guess knew who you were was remember that show that was like outside where they had like the tents?
Yeah.
That one. I was like, I know that guy. Ultimate Pastime.
Yeah, that was.
Because we talked that day.
That's right, dude. I remember that. I think wasn't that Rob show now has Diamond 9. I think the Elks Lodge.
Oh, that was his show too.
I think so.
It was a grass area, right?
They had a grass area and a tent. But that's the thing, man.
The
like,
Terminex was there.
Yeah, we're so lucky. We're so lucky to have all the shows and shops that we have here in Southern California, man. Like, I think people take it for granted, and I think you're going to see some shops start closing down. So people got in at the wrong time, and maybe we'll start seeing them back at shows.
Yeah.
What's the next question, Franklin?
We got a show at 5, so we
can probably go with this one here, kind of cap it. They said
because we got to do this break too.
Oh yeah.
I have trouble moving cards and slabs. There are, what did they say? They are NFL.
Wait, what's it say?
Should I just wait until the beginning of the season? I have trouble moving slabs and cards. They are NFL. Should I just wait until the beginning of the season?
Either
I would try to sell them.
Wait or lower your price.
I think right now is a good time to sell football. Keep going down. Oh, okay. Here we go. Wish we had a Burbank here in Arizona. Old timer card shop owners not willing to make deals. I had one guy still using a Beckett magazine. That's a little tough.
Beckett magazine is hard times.
That sucks.
You could win on that too, though, because Beckett doesn't keep up.
Yeah. I agree. Okay, we're gonna be doing a $1 slab show, literally right after this.
Right after,
and then
5 o'clock.
Yeah, and then also tomorrow I'm gonna have a huge monthly show. which is going to be crazy too. So we have a lot of auctions to do.
You're gonna start doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing a lot of stuff. So stay tuned. Make sure you guys are following here on Whatnot if you're listening.
And maybe I'll do mine too. So follow me.
Yeah, 100% Ultimate Pastime. Make sure to
maybe.
follow
Who knows, right?
So the one we're doing today is basically together. We're doing it together.
Yeah, we're gonna see. He's gonna show me how it's done.
Yeah,
I'll get to watch it.
And then we also have this box because whoever's tuning in, we really appreciate you guys coming in here. We want to give away this box. Should we give away the box and just ship it, or should we pack it out?
I think ship the box.
Just ship the box.
Yeah.
Should we ship the box?
I think someone, and then they could choose they want to open it or keep it sealed. Myself, as a collector, I'd have kept it sealed.
So this is True Creator. This is their first year box. This is their first product ever made. They have their second year, which is over there. It's really cool. I mean, you get 2 autographs per average. You have Aiden Ross in here who blew up probably like right after this product came out or like during the time. You have Cash Nasty. You have a couple other guys. So who else is in here? Well, Chris London's in here, obviously. So Chris actually came on the podcast.
Yeah, I saw that one. That was a good pod.
Yeah, it's cool to see somebody like that like be passionate about the industry. And isn't that like sick? Like
I think that's awesome, and I think how cool it is now. You're starting to get, I mean, the Mike Trouts of the world to buy his own cards. He's into it, you know. Like he's buying.
That was crazy.
He's buying his stuff, and there's a lot of guys who are into the hobby.
Did I tell you what happened? I told you about the whole. So I was looking on Instagram the other day on Monday when I was shipping out all those boxes. That was a day. Yeah, because I was playing catch up because I was getting back. I was just grinding, and then I look at my phone. It says, following like on Instagram, Mike Trout, and I was like, what? Like, and I look, I was like, oh, that's got to be like a fake, like one of those fake pages. I clicked on it, and it's like a couple million followers. The check, and I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, I was in the car. I was like, I went a little crazy, but yeah, that was cool, man. That was sick.
That's a good one.
That's cool seeing something like that be in the industry,
absolutely.
Man. Auto envelope. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna give away the auto. We'll open it up for you guys. We'll reveal what it is first, and then we'll see who gets it, and then we'll give away all the packs away to somebody else. So here we go. All right, let us know if you're ready. We're gonna go ahead and you want to open it up?
No, go for it, man.
You sure?
Yeah.
Who's a good auto pull from this? Aiden Ross would be sick. That's probably one of the most like valued ones. I don't know if you know who Aiden Ross is, but he's literally blown up. Like he Twitch god.
I'm sure my son knows who he is.
And then I think he does like a lot of gambling on that. He got a deal from that one. It's crazy, right?
They say he's weighing 950,000.
Let's pull an Aiden Ross auto, guys.
Yeah,
Let's go. All right, here we go. We're gonna open it up. Oh, there's 2 autos in here. I'm gonna go here. I'm not gonna look. First one. Man, I don't even know what that is. Coleth, man.
Let me see.
His Instagram is Cole the Man TW.
Cool.
Coleth Man Auto. Hopefully, I don't know who that is, to be honest. He has 1.1 million on Instagram, though. It's crazy. Next one. Your Rage. Red. Not numbered. He's got 900,000 followers on Instagram. Not really the ones that we were looking for.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
That's cool, but not
somebody can enjoy those. They're free, right?
Yeah, they're free. Damn, I was hoping we still have a couple boxes left, so we're gonna keep ripping until we hit something. All right, there you guys go. We're gonna give these 2 cards away for absolutely free, and then also we're gonna be doing $1 auctions just after this. So make sure you stay
tuned.
Stay tuned. All right, we're gonna draw the winner in 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who's going to take it home? Dave Mo 33. Dave Mo 33. All right, now we're going to give away all these packs. I think there's 24 packs. So So we'll just ship it like this, actually. So we're going to give away True Creator Series 1 Jumbo Box, all the packs, and we gave away the autos already. So you're going to get all the packs, 24 packs we're going to give away for absolutely free. Put that right there. Let me do the giveaway. I'm going to draw the winner here. Just drawing the winner. Here we go. M. Sears, congrats. You just won the box of True Creator without the autos.
Still
You gave
24
those away.
packs,
24
right?
packs you got for absolutely free. Congratulations, MD Sears. There we go. Those are our 2 giveaways for today. Again, guys, me and Mark are going to be doing $1 auctions here on Whatnot just after this at 5 p.m. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that conversation. I think it was cool.
That was fun. I had a good time. If you guys ever have any questions about anything, you can personally DM me at any time. Instagram, Ultimate Pastime. I'm pretty much I like to answer things pretty freely, and don't hold back on anything or secrets or.
Yeah, you can follow Mark on Instagram. Again, like you said, Ultimate Pastime. You can also follow him here on Whatnot at Ultimate Pastime as well. Facebook, same thing. And yeah, tomorrow is our big live show. Somebody asked that. That's going to be at 5 p.m., I believe. And then our dollar auctions with me and Mark is going to be literally here at 5 p.m. Make sure you bookmark the stream for both. Make sure you stay tuned for more live podcasts. Again, interacting with you guys is our number one thing. And I think we did a pretty solid job of that today.
I had fun. Hopefully you guys had a good time listening and asking whatever questions you asked.
Yeah. If you guys are watching on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you leave a comment. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcast, thank you. Thank you for taking the time. I always joke with people that like Spotify, like on Instagram, I'll be like, yeah, your car ride home, just listen to the podcast. But then people came up to me like, that's literally what I do. And I was like, oh, that's sick.
Literally, I mean, I watched on YouTube today. I watched the one with Chris on it.
Really?
On my way down here.
Yeah, there you go.
I got through most of it. So
there you go.
I'll watch the rest going home.
So yeah, man, I appreciate everybody tuning in, man. This doesn't happen without you guys. And we'll see you guys hopefully soon. Peace.